Timeout. Sun.
Looks like she's in pain after that pass. She had been dealing most recently with the groin.
What started as pure celebration in Boston's TD Garden turned into a nightmare in seconds. The Fever just beat the Sun for their third straight win. Fans erupting in joy when suddenly Caitlin Clark started limping, clutching her groin. The cameras caught her tears streaming down her face on the bench. This wasn't just any injury. This was the same groin that sidelined her before. But here's what makes this even more devastating. The referees allowed the same dangerous physicality that's been targeting her all season long to continue unchecked for Clark and for the rest of the Indiana Fever. And Stephanie White isn't holding back. What bombshell did Stephanie White drop about the WNBA referees? Let's wish Caitlin a speedy recovery in the comments below. Let's go.
Little something in her groin, so we'll get it evaluated and see what happens from there.
Yeah, just kind of to follow up on that. Looked like she was kind of grabbing at her right groin area. Is that the concern?
Yeah, if that's the one she was grabbing at, I don't know which one it was, but yeah, I mean, that's it.
Picture this. TD Garden is absolutely electric, but not for supposed home team, the Connecticut Sun. The arena sounds like Indianapolis invaded Boston. Fever fans filled every section, chanting for their team like they owned the place. You could hear Let's Go Fever echoing through the historic venue. This was supposed to be Connecticut's home court advantage, but it felt like a Fever home game instead. The Fever just dominated the Sun 85-77 for their third straight win. Kelsey Mitchell dropped 20 points, while Natasha Howard grabbed a double-double with 18 points and 13 rebounds. The team looked unstoppable. Their record improved to 12-10, putting them in solid playoff position. Everything was going according to plan until the final minute changed everything.
Right here, she explodes, makes the backdoor pass, and immediately grabs the inside of that right leg.
But in the span of seconds, everything changed when Clark grabbed her groin and hit the floor. The play looked routine until Clark suddenly clutched her right groin, grimacing in visible pain. Then she did something that broke hearts everywhere. She hit her head against the basket stanchion in pure frustration.
Goes to the, what's it called, like stanchion or whatever, the thing that holds up the basketball hoop on the other end. She hits her head on it. She is fighting back tears and she walks straight over to the bench. Now, when she goes over to the bench, she starts crying. And I've honestly never seen Caitlin Clark cry on the court except when she lost the national championship game. She keeps it together no matter what is happening. But you could just tell that something happened.
The cameras captured something that will haunt Fever fans. Tears streaming down Clark's face as she sat on that bench. Her expression told the whole story. This wasn't just discomfort or fatigue. This was real pain, and she knew it. The joy from moments before completely vanished from her face. This wasn't just any injury. This was the same groin issue that had already sidelined her before. Clark had already missed 5 games earlier this season due to a left groin injury. Now her right groin was acting up, raising serious concerns about overcompensation and her long-term health.
Bench after looking like she is in some pain.
You could feel the entire arena shift from celebration to complete silence in moments. Fever fans who had been cheering loudly suddenly went quiet. The energy completely changed as everyone realized something was seriously wrong with their star player. What made this even more heartbreaking was seeing her teammates' faces. They knew something was seriously wrong. You could see the concern in their eyes as they watched Clark struggle. The celebration stopped immediately as everyone focused on their injured teammate. The medical staff rushed over, but the damage might already be done to Indiana's championship hopes this season. Coach Stephanie White later said Clark felt a little something in her groin and would undergo further evaluation. The WNBA All-Star Game was just days away in Indianapolis, where Clark was scheduled to participate and serve as team captain.
She just looked so defeated. And Caitlin Clark is somebody, she hides it really well. And I don't know if hiding it or she handles it is probably the right thing to say. She handles the pressure. She handles all of the media spotlight, the attention the expectations of how she performs on the court, the expectations of the ratings for her games. She handles all of that so well, and this season has just been so tough for her when it comes to injuries.
This injury represents
everything wrong with how the league has allowed Clark to be targeted all season long. She had already missed 10 games total due to leg injuries, and now another setback threatened her availability. But to understand how we got here, we need to go back to where this vendetta really started. Let's talk about the game that started this whole mess. June 17th, against these same Connecticut Sun players. That day marked a turning point in how opponents treated Caitlin Clark. The physicality crossed every acceptable line in professional basketball.
Sides.
JCS Sheldon
and Marina Mabry crossed every line that day with an eye poke and body check that shocked the basketball world. Sheldon's finger went straight into Clark's eye during what should have been routine defensive coverage. The contact was deliberate and dangerous. Marina Mabry followed up with a hard body check that sent Clark stumbling backward. These weren't basketball plays. They were targeted attacks.
Clark, tempers flaring on both sides.
JCS Sheldon and Marina Mabry crossed every line that day with an eye poke and body check.
But here's what the cameras didn't show you. The aftermath and how it set up this revenge game. The incident created lasting tension between these teams. Players remembered exactly what happened that day. The Suns' actions became a rallying point for the entire Fever organization. Sophie Cunningham stepped up that day like a true teammate, getting in the faces of Clark's bullies. She immediately confronted both Sheldon and Ma after their dirty plays. Cunningham made it clear that targeting Clark wouldn't go unanswered. Her protective stance showed the team's solidarity and commitment to defending their star player.
On JC Sheldon, again, as JC Sheldon is going up for a layup, Sophie bear hugs her and takes her to the ground. What I will say is Sophie did not grab her and throw her to the ground. She didn't body slam her. She didn't do anything, in my personal opinion. Maybe I'm biased here, but I'm gonna give you guys my straight up honest opinion on this. She bear hugged her, took her to the ground. Yes, it was intentional.
It was absolutely intentional. The league barely did anything about those dirty plays, sending a message that targeting Clark was acceptable. The WNBA's disciplinary measures were viewed as insufficient to deter future aggressive behavior. This perceived inaction fueled the sense that Clark wasn't being properly protected by officials or league administrators. Fast forward to this Boston game, and you could see the tension the moment these teams stepped on the court. Players exchanged stares during warm-ups. The atmosphere felt different from a regular season matchup. Everyone knew this game carried extra weight. Clark came into this game with something to prove, playing with an edge we hadn't seen before. She attacked the basket more aggressively. Her passes had extra zip. Every possession seemed personal to her.
Responsibility of guarding Aaliyah Boston. High hedge on the ball screen on Clark. Inside perfectly. One thing you know about Tina Charles, she has every shot in her arsenal.
Now Sheldon, the height disadvantage against Howard.
Yeah, good recognition.
Every possession felt personal. Every screen a little harder. Every look a little longer. The intensity was obvious to anyone watching. Players bumped each other after dead balls. Referees had to separate players multiple times. This wasn't just basketball anymore. This was payback time. And Clark delivered with her play until that injury struck. But the referees were about to make this personal vendetta even worse with their calls.
Her battled injuries in college. She's always been something who has been a very healthy player. And this year it has been quad injury and then another quad injury and then a groin injury and now what seems to be another groin injury. Now, again, you guys, this is all from what we're seeing. We're just putting two and two together. Nothing has been confirmed, but it seems like she did.
Here's where the story gets really ugly. The referees didn't just miss calls. They actively made things worse. The officiating became so bad that it overshadowed what should have been a celebration of the Fever's third straight victory. Instead of focusing on basketball, everyone was talking about how the refs completely
egregiously called, or there was no calls by the referees, and it's getting out of control at this point. And even Caitlin Clark's brother tweeted, "This one is on the refereeing." Like, there are people in Caitlin Clark's family who are starting to call out the referees.
This game The officiating was so bad that even Clark couldn't stay quiet anymore. She had reached her breaking point with the constant missed calls and lack of protection. You could see her frustration building with every possession as the referees ignored obvious fouls. The cameras caught her in a heated argument with referee Mike Price, who said something that visibly shook her. During the third quarter, Clark was seen jawing at Price as she headed back to the bench.